Tutu, turn the volume down, please. Good evening. This is A Mind of Valor. My name is Westerfield Tolbert. This is day 26. Wow. Let me just tell y'all a little bit of backstory. Day 25 was filmed days ago. And what we were doing was building up the catalog of these 30 consecutive days talking about the A Mind of Valor, 25 contiguous principles and their meaning and they apply to our lives and how we can use those as tools in our attempt to engage life and ask better questions and engage experiences to get the best possible outcome from experiences by starting with critical questions up front and really taking that part of the process seriously, like really critically interrogating what I'm about to step into, what are the possible outcomes, the nuances that need to be understood so that you can properly position yourself if you need to pivot, and so on and so forth. So we were doing that for the first 25 days, and it was going very well. And then there was some travel. I had to travel for 2 weekends in a row, in addition to a number of other projects that I was stepping on. So for a minute there, the cart had kind of fallen off the horse, so to speak. And today, this evening, after me and my younger son had returned from track practice, he just reminded me, he's like, "Hey Dad, did you film your show today?" And I was like, "No, I didn't film it today." I started giving him the different reasons. Mind you, he's 8. And he's like, "No, Dad, you need to film. You need to film. You need to film your show. You need to get back in the plan." And I stood there for a second. I said, "I'm gonna do it in the morning. I'll film it in the morning." He's like, "Okay." And then he left me alone. A couple minutes later, he's like, "No, Dad, you need to do it tonight." And I sat there and I said to myself, this is my 8-year-old child who, unbeknownst to him, has become my accountability partner for this particular project. And therefore, for tonight's discussion, I want to talk about accountability and just how important it is for us to have people in our lives whom we trust, whom we have strong relationships with, whom are consistent, disciplined people that can hold us accountable and that we will allow to hold us accountable for the promises that we make, for the goals that we've set, for the expectations and the values and the vision that we have attached to what we want to build. And when I'm thinking about the relationship with me and my son and how he was able to push me and motivate me to get back in the swing of things, it just really let me know that in our lives, there will be people whom will try to hold us accountable, whom, if we don't trust them, we won't receive that message or we won't receive that energy properly. Whereas you can have an innocent child who genuinely wants to see you win, wants to see you succeed, and will present information to you in the most genuine, humble way. And it will motivate you and it will push you. I say that so we, as a community, because we have spoken about community a number of times over the last month and a half, just how important it is to build community around ourselves whom we trust and whom we believe is credible, that we allow to hold us accountable to the goals that we've set. It is remarkable how the few words that he said inspired me. But then I've seen it in other places. For example, I know adults who smoke, and their children will be the first person to be like, "You said you were going to quit. Why are you still doing that?" And they'll quickly brush the child off, tell the child to go to another room, go outside, and whatever the case may be. When in that moment you have an innocent, earnest relationship trying to hold you accountable to you being the best possible version of yourself. And with me, this particular evening, it was my 8-year-old son. For you, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a colleague, someone in ministry, a mentor, but have someone and know what that looks like for you, and know how you will engage those relationships and engage that community. And if we are thinking about our process of asking better questions and what that means in relation to community and accountability, it is at the inception of a relationship, as we are being trained on how to engage another person, and that person is training us on how to engage them, and we are forming relationships and we're forming community. It is teaching someone else how to communicate with us in the language, in the tone, and at the levels that we can receive, or that our spirits are able to receive it. And it goes the same way with other people. So as we are building those relationships, people will be giving us cues, signals, being direct. This is how I need to be treated. This is how I need to be communicated with. This is how I look to receive information from you, and so on and so forth. So as we are building relationships and we're starting off with these processes and we're building community, that is the time. That is the absolute best time to ask these questions and to learn what needs to happen. And it's also a process about learning about ourselves, because it's easy to look out. It's a lot more challenging to look in and put a mirror up to ourselves, because we might have an assumption about how we want to be engaged with regard to a certain process, or how we want to be talked to. And then lo and behold, in reality, we don't receive that type of energy. We don't receive that type of communication. Some people like, I want somebody to be direct with me and straight to the point. And then if you're direct with them, it may be too much for them to handle, because they have not fully assessed themselves in the context of relationships and in communication. So I need all of us to take this matter seriously and place it at a high level, because it is important, because how we start relationships is very deterministic about how the relationship will proceed on and on and on. And if things are situated with a great foundation, then the structure gets built, and we know what a strong foundation and a strong structure will produce. Now, if something is begun with a foundation that's shaky, anything you build on top of that foundation will be rocky. And in the event that turbulence comes along, weather, trauma, you name it, that structure will be exposed for all the flaws and the fractures in the foundation. So, if it is important to you to have long lasting relationships that are healthy, let it also be as important to you to start those relationships in the healthy, respectful way that is required. Accountability is so important, because we tend to embrace it in certain instances and then we run from it in others. But the only way that it works is if we are actually, oh, excuse me, the only way that it actually works is if we are actionable with the very things that we need to be accountable with and for and about. If we are the type of people whom are just not accountable, or who struggle with accountability, or who struggle with dominant or strong personalities, or being told what to do, or are easily triggered by people bringing things to our attention, then there's some personal work that we have to take some time to explore, and there's some personal questions that we need to be asking ourselves about trauma and the journey back to healing and reconciliation. It may be something that happens with your family, your peer groups, colleagues. Internally is where we must start, though. We first forgive ourselves for things that we weren't able to do when we didn't know better. We forgive ourselves for instances in the past where we were not able to be fully disciplined or be held accountable, or when we didn't live in a structured or systematic way. We have to forgive ourselves for making choices that had consequences when we were immature, or when we were out of sorts. We forgive ourselves. And that is the first step to forgiving other people, and also for engaging in healthy relationships. Because you can come to the table with a plate or a palette that has less things on it, less experiences, less memories, or healed memories and experiences, et cetera, that won't get instantly reignited, won't get instantly re-triggered. I talked on a previous episode about how we discussed experiences, we relive those experiences in our subconscious. So physiologically, we go through many of the same heightened emotions and chemical um, emo- chemical reactions internally that mirror the very experience that we were going through in the first place. So every time that we re-enter that experience, or every time we revisit in our imaginations or in our memories, or through a story, or retelling it, or just generally bringing it back up without the healing, we take ourselves right back to the pain, and we take ourselves right back to the anxiety, to the hyperventilation, to the sweaty pores, to the jitteriness. We literally put ourselves back in an unhealthy space because we did not see enough see enough value in coming to the table to work on our healing. If we are not able to take that step, then being accountable to ourselves, being accountable to community, and being accountable in our relationships just will be a very difficult uphill climb. Because as soon as things happen that take us back there, we're back there. And the more that happens, the more energy we have to exert in the present to come back to being fully present in an experience without all of those emotions um, overwhelming us. Because really, we want to get to a point where we can experience a similar situation again and not have the same reaction that we did initially, because we've healed from it, because we've from that experience learned about ourselves and how we should engage. We learn the things to avoid. We learn our triggers. We learn how to uh, balance reconciliation with severing relationships. It's a process. Accountability is very much a process, and the journey there is worth taking if at the end you see the value in being a healthy person, if you see the value in being a healthy member of community, or being a beacon to other people in community or that you're in relationship with. because oftentimes we just go through life. We barely hold the mirror up to ourselves. And very seldom do we go around asking people, hey, what's your opinion of me? Or do you, we're not doing that necessarily. But that does not mean that people do not see us, and they see our journeys, and they see our struggles, and they see the things that we overcome. And so we become a beacon to people that we don't even know are watching. You're a beacon. You're a light. You're charismatic. Your personality is something that people look to and they admire. Here you are, just trying to live a healthy life. The healthier you are, everything around you will become healthier. We talked in a previous episode about love and how if we put love at the center of our lives and our experiences and our interactions, then we just send a pulse out in every direction. Cyclic circles of energy constantly going out and expanding. We become energy we become energy expanding. And accountability works very similar and within that train of thought, just like being a beacon. When people recognize that you're someone who can be held accountable at a high level and can model accountability, they will put you in positions where, or at least invite you into positions where accountability is supremely important to projects and outcomes, because they know regardless of whether that target is hit or not in the process, you as an individual will be able to own that. You will receive that. You won't take criticism as something that's attacking you as an individual or your spirit or your character. You understand that accountability with regard to projects is about the project. It's about the assignment. It's about the task at hand and making it a better process. So whatever you're going through to get to that outcome or the destination, the process can be improved, because what we're doing is always asking better questions. So we are constantly evolving and improving processes. And I apologize that day 26 took so long to get here, but day 27 will not take that long, and day 28 will not take that long, and 29th will not take that long. And we will continue. We will continue on. Westolbert.com, WESTOLBERT.com. Same as the username for this YouTube channel. You can go there. You can see an archive of the episodes. Also, I've more frequently been posting on the blog just insightful things that I come across. I've been doing a word of the day, just writing quotes, things that come to my mind during the day, sharing postcards and memes, and just doing more writing and, sharing, because I do write a lot. Like, I write every day, but I don't always share the material every day. A lot of it just lives in my different journals. But on the website, I share a couple of insights from these different books, as well as some poetry and speeches and just different ideas that I think are important to be discussed in the public domain and worthy of critical conversation and being looked into and looked after. We are all a work in progress. We are all striving towards something. And at the end of the day, it is because we are being intentional about what we are doing, why we are doing it, that we can produce a better outcome, have a greater degree of discipline, and in general, improve the processes that most significantly impact our lives and lives of those we are in community with, our families, our colleagues. So let us take this journey. We're back on it. We're back at it again. This is A Mind of Valor. Tomorrow, we will jump back into the 25 contiguous principles. But today, I just wanted to talk about accountability and just how I was moved, and because of that, I'm back with you, and we have work to do. And I look forward to this journey. There's a lot of people that I want to bring on who I've been in the inbox with and just shooting back and forth these different comms. And so I'm looking forward to bringing these people to your homes, mobile devices, wherever you may find yourself, because A Mind of Valor is truly about making our minds the best possible tool that we can use to live the best possible life. We're all out here, like I said, we're a work in progress. We're all trying to find healing. We're all trying to find resources. We're trying to find reassurance. And I've committed to this process through the accountability of my youngest son. I'm recommitted and rededicating myself to this process because it's a vision, it's a goal, it's something that I know without a shadow of a doubt that if the effort is put in and the strategy is applied and refined as necessary and evolving as I'm learning, then success is inevitable. On the website, I use it as a place for both learning and testing. So I'll be reading articles about engagement or social media or tagging or how to present ideas. And so through the website, I did testing different things, linking my, analytics and BI and just trying different systems because I want to learn. I just don't want to outsource it. I want to learn it so then I can be more impactful and beneficial when I work with other folks in the future on different ideas as they grow and as we all grow. So I both test them on the website and more I do kind of write-ups as I'm testing to be like, hey, I'm trying this out. I'm updating the footer. I'm putting this things in the footer and trying to build more internal links for this purpose. And I'm trying to a hub and spoke strategy and blah, so on and so forth. We are a work in progress. We are in action, A Mind of Valor. This is Westerfield Tolbert. This is day 26. Thank you. And I look forward to day 27. We're back at it and we're going to have some fun. Cheers. God bless.